What's up everybody, Kill423 here from EpicConsole.com, and today I am bringing you an install tutorial for the Team Xecuters Sonus QSB. This here be the QSB made by Team Xecuter. This is the Trinity model motherboard and Trinity model QSB. There is a different style QSB for the Corona. Pretty much the same soldering points, but slightly wider spread apart, slightly different layout. So our QSB has, as you can see, the green, blue, and white plugins on it. That is to match up with your JR programmer. In order to use Sonus or change your sounds of the board, you are going to need a JR programmer version 1 or 2 in order to get in and program it. The Nandex does not work for Sonus. The area to which we're installing this is going to be right down here. You can see the ring of light is right here. This is where the ring of light plugs in. Just going right over to it. There's a number 3. We'll come in tight here. And right here is where we're going to be working. So we're going to go ahead and take our Sonus QSB here, set it in place. Just like so. That's how it sits. See, it lines up pretty well with all the solder pads, including right off here on this side is another little solder pad. Don't forget about that during the install. Before I go ahead and solder this thing in, I'll flip it over. It comes with a little sticky pad. Alright, now make sure that your fitment's good. This Team Xecuters sticky pads usually hold extremely well. Just kind of press it down in place there. Now I'll come tight back in here. These are the solder pads that matter. I'm going to go ahead and prep all the solder pads, put a little flux on each one. I use flux on all my installs. A lot of people say that you don't need flux with rosin core solder, but I say better safe than sorry, use the flux. You're less apt to burn off the pads, cause permanent damage. Come over here and hit the biggest pad first. There is no particular order that you have to do them. Yeah, these are going to be the tricky ones. I'm going to try and heat the pad of both the QSB and the resistor at the same time. See, doing that first pad was enough to burn off the little bit of flux that I put on there. So a little extra is required. Careful not to melt your programming ports. that's 5 of them done. And lastly, we're coming over here to this little foot leg that I told you don't forget about. I can see how people will mess this one up too. Not too much solder on that one. Take it easy. Because if you glob it on there, you're going to likely glob it right over this. It's a very thin little leg. And you'll likely bridge this other side here. I could see that happening very easily. I almost suspected that I did that myself, but I can see it, and no, I didn't. Well, like always at the end of my videos, I'll tell you to go ahead and get some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl, and some Q-tips, or something of that nature, and clean up any excess flux residue. It's very important to clean after you work. One of the reasons why you clean after the install is to inspect your install. It's hard to inspect when you get crap globbed all over the board. And the reason for inspecting is to make sure that you get good solid connections. See, this one right here almost looked bad from the other angle, but it's actually solid. Now that you get your QSB installed, you want to go ahead and get your JR programmer wires. We'll get them plugged in there. There they are. I'll just go ahead and get them plugged in. Now if you notice on the wires, there's copper on one side, wire showing. On the other side there's not. We're going to want the wire side, got my Sean Connery on, going away from the QSB. Blue and green wire side out, or towards the middle of the QSB, or middle of the motherboard, I guess I should say. Pardon me, I'm probably blocking your view, but I'm just plugging in some wires. Alright, now that you got them all hooked up, they just plug into your JR programmer, just like you would NAND wires, like so. Then you go hook it up to your computer via USB. Open up your JRunner, open up your Sonus 360 editor, and program away. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this has been Keel423 from EpicConsole.com, bringing you the Xecuters Sonus Trinity Edition QSB install tutorial for works on retail or RGH Jtag consoles. No RGH required. As you can see, bone set. Up next, I'm gonna have another video up here on how to change out the speaker and put in the higher quality speaker. This here's your speaker from the factory on a Trinity. So, anyway, Keel423 from EpicConsole.com. Thanks for watching.